What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and first off, I'm back. Oh my God. This is like first time in years that I've done one of these. But to kind of, I guess, get me started and started off right, I had to have the big ooze. He's known by many names and many talents, but Skufius, what's up, bro?
Blessings, man. How you doing, man? Thank you for having me on the show. Who's?
Bro, this is again, we were kind of talking off air. We met at Mania 39, right? Was that 39? Whatever one was in LA. I feel like 39 is right. Yeah.
Yep, 39.
Yeah.
In 23, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And man, I had a couple things that were supposed to. I was doing a lot more of these then, and there were some projects in the works that were supposed to, kind of broach and birth at Mania, and it didn't happen. And I was in a weird way, whatever. It ended up being good because I met the Big Goose, and I was just transfixed by your artwork. So, man, we're about to do a deep dive in all things you.
Right on, Oos. Whatever you want to talk about, man. I'm game.
So, I mean, first of all, I mean, did I nail because us as polys, right? We kind of like, we have our own language, and we've got the British English, and then we've got American English, right? So did I nail the name right? Your nomenclature, right?
Which one? By
So Skufius would be pronounced by you how?
Skufius. And Skufius. So basically, so Skufius is a play. It's a play on word. It's actually based off of the word screw face, which is Jamaican. It's patois. It's not Polynesian at all. So it's Jamaican. Well, Skufius. If somebody has a screw face over there at Jamrock, it means like a mad dog look. Imagine a screw in your face, and it's like you contort it. Somebody would just screw your face. You're this all the time. So like I was like that. That's kind of been my thing as a kid, hanging out with all these older Rasta dudes, and they gave me the name Skufius until they found out how old I was later on in the year, and they realized I was just a 15-year-old kid ditching school, hanging out with these grown folks, and then from there, Skufius. It was kind of a rib, it was a joke because they said, "Oh, he's supposed to be in school," so then they called me School Face. So Screw Face to School Face, and then the name just stuck. Where it's like, "Hey, where them boy? Where's Skufius?" So Skufius. So I just spell it phonetically, means Skufius, and so people's like, "What does that mean?" And over the years, for all these different interviews and podcasts, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Let me be honest. I used to try to church it up. Oh, it means like what's behind the cover of the book, bro. I was just trying to church it up, but really it was just a joke name that these old dreadheads would call me because they couldn't believe that I wasn't their age, and I was just this teenager that was just hanging about and just playing reggae music with them. So Skufius has been my name since I was 14, 15, and then I just kept it as my pen name. And then throughout the years, people just knew me as such. So Skufius has been my name, my art name, my music name, my pen name, and that's where Skufius. So you heard it here, Oos. It's not a Samoan thing. It's not a Samoan name. You're like, what does that even mean? Like, nah, it means that he's supposed to be in school. He's a schoolboy. He's a school. Look at his school face. So I fooled them as long as I could until they caught me, and they're like, bro, go back to school. And I was like, all right.
Well, it kind of stuck. I mean, you could potentially be Screwface now because the time has elapsed a little bit, so like you could earn it either way. So I love it. Which I mean, it's funny because like, a lot of, poly in Melanesians, we get the Irie. I mean, everybody gets the Irie, but like when you come from an island, it's different, right? It hits different. Like you just know Bob Marley and the Wailers and, just different, reggae music, like Scatolites, man. Like I'm a big, right?
Ooh, why are you dropping these names, bro? You will hear this. Like, man, you go, okay, no disrespect to my folk, but I fell into the culture of reggae, where to the point of like I'm a 12-year-old kid and I borrowed these VHSs from the OOS in school and never gave it back, and I would watch these reggae concerts over and over and over, and then I just fell into it and just had to be. It's been a part of me musically since my adolescence. But Skylights, man, they used to be my first
Yeah,
voicemail.
bro.
That was my
And
first voicemail, bro.
yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
the wild thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
especially us two growing up in Southern California for the most part, right? Like, ska's big, right? Like, yeah, late
Yeah.
80s, early 90s, into the 90s, right? No Doubt hits, we got Real Big Fish and everything like that. But like the Skylights,
Real
like
Big
you
Fish.
listen to those records, and then also I can't remember the name of it, but like Rick Rubin is big on them. But like they have that jam, Sardines. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the Junk House Band. They got a real crazy name. But if you listen to like Sardines, you can hear where music and culture go for the next 30 years plus after that. You hear rock, you hear rap, you hear like the toasting. Oh, like this is late 70s, right? And like, of course, like Sugar Hill Gang, and nothing against them, right? But like all those guys were like Jamaican immigrants in New York and what have you, right? So like, a lot of their moms and dads, like would be going out and, having their cognac in the bottle, in the chalice and whatever. And then, in between the records, somebody would just jump up or whatever, or, the DJ would mix an instrumental or whatever and just like hop on that beat. And that's how we got hip hop. That's how we got rap metal. You want to listen to like Limp Bizkit and Korn and everything like that. You look at Sardines, you look at Scatolites, like that's where it comes from.
Yeah. I remember watching an interview about saying that hip hop was based off of the subculture that came from Jamaica to New York. And I was like, yo, that makes perfect sense, because it's like, I mean, it's all the same components to make a dope hip hop track, the old school ones, obviously, and then what's to make for dance hall and some good roots reggae music, and then seeing the evolution go through the UK and then come back a different version, Lovers Rock, all this stuff.
Yeah,
and I was like, yo,
Sade,
yeah, bro. Hey, man, I like yous.
Yeah,
I can
you
vibe.
be both, bro.
Big up, Zeus.
Yeah, likewise, bro. So it's funny because my dad actually in San Francisco was a contemporary jazz musician, right? Like that's
so dope.
Yeah, that's how we made our money. He played in front of Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, in front of the cannery. So that's like when people are like, "Oh, I'm from the streets" or whatever. Like the streets are something different to me, because like it was like my best friend was like a Belizean, German. Like literally, dad is from Belize, mom was from Germany. They got together. They making jewelry over here. Like me, my mom, and my dad. My dad is, like what is it? A quarter Irish. Quarter Irish, quarter Cherokee, and then black, and then my mom is Fijian, right? And my mom is his manager, selling his tapes and CDs. Like people are like, oh, hustling, whatever. Like I can't get there, because like you could construe like, oh, that's what we did, but like I also associated with like the bangers and like the hustlers. That wasn't a great term, growing up. So like what we were doing is like we were purveying our art, much like you and I are doing right now, right, in present day. But also it was a term of like, it was obstacles, right? An obstacle is like my dad had this spot for since I was in diapers, and here I'm 8 years old, and then somebody want to come up and take his spot. And taking his spot means taking his money, right?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I'm so like into pro wrestling and MMA, right, is because I never got to compete in sports, because I can attend all the football and soccer and baseball practices the Friday, Saturday, and Sundays when the tourists came. So we had to be at the wharf, and then later Ghirardelli Square, right? We're right above where the mermaids are. That's how I grew up. The first 8 years of my life, that was it. So and then I mean, I was around people like Clarence Clemens. That's a big Bruce Springsteen fan. Like I didn't know who Clarence Clements was. That was just my dad's friend. Same thing with like Al Jarreau. It's like a
What?
wild tapestry. Yeah.
Is this a San Fran?
Yeah, it's San Fran.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. All these names that you're dropping, like it's just whatever, bro. Like that's, bro. I know I'm familiar with all their work. It was like I started. All right, traditionally Samoans are not really into jazz and like deep musicianship, and like I'm studying people's like technique just because it makes me. I love it. I just enjoy it. You know what I mean? So I don't really share that too much with my kinfolk, with anybody in my car type stuff. So I'm always playing just randoms, bro.
You and I kinfolk. I claim you. How about that?
Yeah, let's go, bro.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it, dude, because
Yeah.
I play just crazy. I'm not. I can't say it's crazy. I just enjoy just music, like all music, traditional music, and I like finding old vinyls of like just some randoms I've never heard before, and then I take it home and I listen to it. I'm like, yo, this is it's really a gem. Like I don't know, just having this piece of history and just listening to you can feel all the work that they put into these vinyls, and then you can really I could appreciate it personally. I can appreciate just the work, and I can hear or imagine the struggle it was just to create this record and to put it up. Just put it out on wax and then sleeve it up nicely and then send it out was basically what I do, but not in music. And so I have a great appreciation. Long story short, but yeah, that's cool.
No, we can keep this thing going because I mean it's funny that you say that. I mean the universe provides the way it does, right? Because like I literally woke up to like I've got the YouTube Premium. I don't want to see no ads. I just want to get what I want to get to. Like just give it to me, right?
Same.
Right. So the thing about it is like whatever I was watching, you know, when I fell asleep, right? When I woke up, it was like, you know, Keanu Reeves and his band Dogstar, they was pressing vinyl. They were pressing vinyl at this like spot. I'll send you the IG, bro. And I was just like, whatever. And then it just kind of then it was Metallica pressing their own records, like and putting the little chips to make it like it was like
it's fun. That's so fun. It was like, man, I wish I don't know, like I wish I can just jump in a time machine just to go back in the heyday of like the vinyl hustle and just see it just so I can see it with my own eyes. Because I like taking it back to what you're saying early, like the music back in then it was definitely prime, 100% all the way. There's nothing I couldn't really appreciate from that stuff. Like in the 80s, Talking Heads. I wish I could see the Talking Heads live. Yeah, that's dope.
Right?
Yeah, I'm a big Talking Heads fan.
Oh man. Well, I mean, I think we can kind of like break kayfabe a little bit. We just found out like minutes before going on air that we're going to the same concert tonight. It's the Romantics. Christopher Cross, the great Christopher Cross, which is
come on, man.
My mind. And Toto.
The G. And so crazy. So let me take back. I saw that. I was just looking up on Ticketmaster. Like, what? And I like to just look at whatever's gonna be appearing around, so I can just imagine that we go. We never really do that. It's things are tight, and I don't really want to like jump. I'm like I was just joke around. Hey, honey, you want to see Toto? She was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. Like for what? Like they're having a concert, and I was like. She goes, oh, you want to go see Toto? I'm like, I want to see Christopher Cross. She goes, why? Because they're on the same stage. And so she was like, Christopher Cross. Who's Christopher Cross? I was like, all right, I'm like out whiting you right now. My wife is what? So she's introduced. So my wife is funny. She every movie, every actor, she knows the actor's first name and last name and their whole filmography. I'm like, Daredevil. Daredevil is Batman now. And she goes, oh, you mean Ben Affleck? I'm like, whatever. But so she's like that with music as well. I didn't have like an affinity to know these people's or the components. I'm like, all right, no, I'll just look at the piece as piece. So she's kind of like getting me. Like I never really listened. I listened to rock through the portal of K-Rock, the music, the radio station. So K-Rock, K-Earth. K-Earth was my dad. K-Rock was me sometimes. And then, it's just, but I didn't fall into just looking up these artists because I didn't see anything past what the popular work was being like that was being exposed to us,
That's
the
fair.
pop stuff. And then dating my wife, I started looking things up, and I started to grow in fandom because I was like, yo, there's this track that they play, and this, and there's so many songs that I've never heard, and it just blew my mind. And like I became a fan of Muse, Evanescence, all these different
Yeah.
people. I knew everything. I knew everything about System of a Down, but not everything apparently, because then my mind my mind was blown to all the work that they had. Their catalog, And so going to Toto, I just thought that everybody in the 80s was the same white people band. And forgive my ignorance, I didn't grow up listening to any of this stuff. So
Right.
like in my household, so our household, it was all traditional, just Samoan music, reggae music.
Yeah,
Daniel
you're too
Daniel
busy
Ray
being a
Costello.
Skufius.
Yeah, basically, bro. Bro, I grew up. I grew up with believing that Bob Marley and UB40 was the same person. I was ignorant, so I didn't know. Like we didn't put much care or time into figuring these things out. Oh, it's a nice song. It's a Bob Marley song, and it's literally Red Red Wine. You know what I mean? And so I'm a kid growing up, and then falling into the music discovery area, I start to appreciate it. And then so Toto came up, and my wife showed me all these 80s songs that are obviously from different people that I didn't know. And then I figured like, yo, this would be great. Like, let's go. She's like, I'd love to. So we went. Oh, so we're going. I'm excited, bro. I'm gonna see you over there. Are you parking over there too, or?
No, I have a friend. I mean, we're gonna give it all away. Why not? Right? We're gonna be like Red Hot Chili Peppers and give it away now. So we're about to meet up some friends at if y'all know Long Beach, you know the spot. All Dub Liner, right? They got spice bags, bro. They got spice bags like they have in. You know about
No
spice
way.
bags?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got
What?
$15 spice bags, dude. Shout out to All Dub Liner, right there off of Ocean and
The shoreline village.
Yeah. So gonna hit up the what is it? Gonna hit up the happy hour. Get me a spice bag. Get a couple Guinnesses in me, maybe an Irish car bomb. And then either take the circuit or whatever down to the amphitheater.
That's gonna be, man. I'm skipping all that because I don't want to go through the stress of figuring out where to park and where the thing is at to pick me up. So
okay.
I'm just gonna probably Uber there.
Now, mind you, I do have friends that live right on Ocean, right? So
Wow,
that makes it.
lucky,
I mean,
bro.
truth be told, I'm not buying my tickets until 3:00 because I know all the scalpers gotta hand in their inventory.
Oh snap! I didn't even consider that,
bro.
Nah,
Okay,
bro.
we about to. I'm gonna put you. I'll put you up, bro. Like, come on, this is island love, man. So if I got something, that's how we do, right? If you got something, I got something. You got something, I got something, right? That's just what we do. We plenty the well. But yeah, so and then gonna go take probably the circuit or whatever the free transit. I think there's like a shuttle from Shoreline to
across the bridge.
Yeah, and just do that. I mean, it's like the New Radicals. We flat broke, but we do it in style. Right? So that's it. But so like going back to, it's wild, right? So the romantics, right? I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. Come on, right? That's opening. Then you got the great Christopher Cross. We're talking. You put it up there, sailing, right? Never be the same again, right? Arthur's theme, and ride like the wind. Winds.
Ride like the wind. Yeah, man, I'm stoked,
bro. And then
I'm so stoked. Yeah.
And when you're looking at Toto, right? And it's funny. The first time, like I really was like started to look into Toto, it was funny because I kind of was like you. So like I grew up with the Phil Collins. My dad was like a contemporary jazz musician. So the things that you hear if you grew up in LA, it's KTW the Wave. It was KBLX in the Bay. But if your parents listen to any smooth jazz listening station, the station that would probably more likely play in a rotation, Sade, Luther Vandross, and a Tony Braxton song, and possibly Journey. That's contemporary jazz music, and my dad
I love it.
played that, right? So
Yeah.
I still can't listen to Tony because they played a festival that my dad was supposed to be playing on, and my dad was like, like curtain jerk in the festival, right? But they played too long. Tony played too long that my dad's set got cut. My dad got paid.
No.
But like, yeah, dude. So
Bro,
when we were like, oh, let's get down. I'm like, no, I can't get down to this. I can't get jiggy with this ish.
Bro, that sucks. I'm sorry, man. That's horrible. I didn't do that to another act, but that's happened to me before.
That's happened. Well, I mean, Tony at the time was like, they were it. It was like them and Boyz II Men and what have you. And they were singing to them girls, singing right to their underloins, and
then the crowd calls an encore, then it's over.
Yeah, it's over, right? And so that's it, But so for me, it was actually in parody. Like they were like greatest, like MTV would do those like greatest, whatever of the 90s. Those like, half hour that they cram everything, or a pop-up video or whatever. And I remember one of the comedians were like, hey, I can't even know, I don't even know who Toto is. They're just like the most random generic guys. Like if you look at Africa, like I could be in Toto, you could be in Toto. Like they're just like the most random generic guys, right? And when you look into the discography of the guys that make up Toto, okay, so if you're like, okay, Led Zeppelin started out as a session, they were all session musicians, right? Same thing with Michael McDonald, right? And Doobie Brothers, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they were those guys were all session musicians, right? Same thing with Phil Collins, man. Phil Collins was a session musician. That's how he gets
feast.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about all of that is Toto is the American version of Led Zeppelin, if you really want to think about it, right? Because those guys, when Steve Lukather, right? Steve Lukather plays in Ringo Starr, the Beatles all-star band. He's the only like consistent member since Ringo Starr started touring in the 80s. Steve Lukather of Toto he's been the guy that Ringo Starr in his and then he is the second guitar, right? And pretty much arranged Michael Jackson's Beat It. Everybody looks at like, oh, Eddie Van Halen got uncredited, but the thing about it is Luke is the one who did all the backing tracks and all of that stuff. He arranged all that jazz, right? When you look at like Jeff Porcaro is, your musician's drummer. He's on. It's not just Toto stuff, but like, oh man, like Boz Scaggs is Lowdown. That shuffle, that's Jeff Porcaro. When you look at the individual members of Journey, like Jeff, Steve, and I forgot the other brother, the three Porcaro brothers, they essentially, right? One was a guitarist, one's a bassist, and Jeff was a drummer, right? But like I could go on about the Porcaro brothers, but even Steve Porcaro, which is like the lesser known Porcaro, right? He's the one who created Human Nature.
No way.
So he was, I guess, him and his wife or his baby mama or whatever, they were on the outs and they were living separately. So he picks up his daughter, right? And his daughter is all like, hey, the people are bullying me, right? And it's like, why, Daddy? Why? And for whatever reason, he was about to go into the session. He just kept on like hearing his daughter play in his head. Why? And then he just cut a demo, right? And Quincy Jones wanted to see what he was working on and whatever. And the thing about Michael tracks back in the day, they never told the session musicians what they were working on or whatever until like you got to go into the studio. Like Michael was rarefied air, right? Same thing with like Prince and all of those guys, right? So so he hands him a bunch of stuff, right? Doesn't hear from Quincy for I can't remember the amount of time, right? doesn't hear from Quincy, and then Quincy calls him back. It's like this right here, and you could actually hear on YouTube that demo, right? And it was like tucked under, like it was not even like a C-side, bro. Like it was like the end of the tape that he turned into Quincy, right? And it was just like this ethereal, like on a like a mini Moog, right? If you know about it, like it's the synthesizer, and he was just like that, and like messing around with the mini Moog, right? And they had the Y, right? And then like looking out, the original words are across the blacktop, right? Because it was elementary school kids.
Across the blacktop. Right? Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and then Michael just rearranges everything or whatever. But like, I'm hoping that Steve, because they're from the Valley, Long Beach, California, ain't that far away, right? If you look at all of the other, like this is kind of their hometown gig. If Steve is there, we might hear Human Nature live, which I have goosebumps because my dad is from Indiana. You know, like my middle name is Jermaine because my mom, you know, like my dad was starting to like, hey, I'm from Indiana. And she from Fiji. It's like, India. And he's like, no. He's like, you know the Jacksons. She goes, I love Jermaine. And I'm Adam Jermaine. You know?
Oh, so auntie, like, man.
Yeah, so the fact that we might hear if Steve Porcaro is here, because it's not just Toto, it's not just their hits, which again, you can hang your hat on George Porgy, you can hang your hat on Africa, you can hang your hat on Hold the Motherfucking Line, right?
Yeah.
But what they each individually did, and then they would all jump into sessions with each other, man. Like again, that's the closest thing to like Zepp that America has, as session guys like making it, and these like if you look at John Paul Jones and the Porcaro, that's the bassist player, they have very similar like, you know, trajectories and what have you. And John Paul Jones is of the mighty Led Zeppelin, but to me, you know, if I would say if Aerosmith is the U.S. version of the Rolling Stones, then Toto is the America's version of Zeppelin. And yes, I'm going to hang my hat on that. It's controversial, but I'll give you facts.
Bro, I'm excited, dog. I'm so excited. It's me and the wife we get one date in the year because of just because of time. And I'm happy that this is my date with my wife, and we're going to go see these bands, bro. I'm so stoked.
Yeah,
and
bro.
I'm even more excited since you're over here gassing it up on the live, man.
Yeah, bro. Let's do it.
I'm super excited, dude.
Again, I'm also like a huge like Clapton fan, and you know, like so I've seen Clapton, I've seen John Mayer, I've seen Phil Collins the last tour. You know, like that to me, like all of these. You know, they're not getting any younger, like so like to see them live and to hear these things perform live. And again, like Human Nature, right? You want to talk about like this, like so there's the song, right? I gave you like the genesis of the song, right? Well, as a John Mayer fan, who plays Human Nature, an instrumental at Michael's funeral? Oh, John Mayer, right? Like
snap. That's right. I forgot about John Mayer being on there with everybody.
And he was supposedly like dating Janet Jackson, and they had just broken up, and Michael died. You know, so like,
man.
So like my Human Nature like curve is just like if it's a plane, it's like an astral plane. It's just like I can make all the nights. So like if that song gets played, I'm not even gonna blame the Onions. I'm gonna just be boo-hooing, ugly crying. That's it.
If they play it, I'm gonna be thinking of you wherever you're sitting, Oos, because I was not even considering even hearing that on the set list over there at the amphitheater. So I'm like, bro, if that happens, it's gonna hit me hard, bro. I'm like, bro, we were just talking about this. I was just talking about with the Oos, man. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm excited to hear Sailing. Sailing has been Yes, Sailing that's my funeral song. Sorry, I'm not trying to make it morbid and let me find some kind of wood to knock on, but like that's been my go-to for like when I'm having my boo-hoo moment, I'm just like, all right, let me play this
No,
real
but
quick. I feel better.
that's the thing with music, though, right? Like, I mean,
Mm,
movie, you got to go there. Either you're watching it on your phone, you gotta, like, you gotta prep for it, right?
yeah,
Music, if you have it, if you do it right, it's a background that is like a consistent kind of like touch, right? Like, if you think about the artists, right, and this is what we're doing, right? Like, you as an artist, sometimes, right, an idea will hit you, right?
mm,
And you're like, oh my God, like, how did you get there? Like, how did you start to do this and shade that and
yeah,
whatever? And it's just like literally like mana, like it just comes to you, right? And you're just a
mm,
conduit. You just let your tool kind of trace over what you're interpreting, right? What you're receiving, right?
mm,
And sometimes it's that way, right? So when you hear people that are talking about that, and then you yourself are affected by that song that came to them, and they can buy their family a house, and people want their autograph off of something that, like, realistically, like, it's almost imposter syndrome esque, because they're like, it really wasn't me, you know.
no, I'm just carrying on the message.
Right,
Uh,
right. So like
uh,
that's it. So like that's hype. Which, again, to kind of bring it back to center, man. Like, your art is just breathtaking. You sent me like, usually when I do these, right, it's a fighter, it's a wrestler, and then there's, I ask for like photography credit, because I also want, like, I want everybody to get love off of this, right? If I'm using your picture, I'm going to credit you,
mm,
right? Because
yeah,
that's the worst thing, is like, if you take somebody's art, and again, like, I know this because my dad, right, there'd be 40 people dancing and whatever, and then there'd be $20 when when he goes to break, there'd be $20, and now the light's getting cut off, and now we got rent, due and past due and stuff like that. So like,
mm,
that really resonates and hits with me, right? So, with you, like, I was at a low point during WrestleMania weekend. Most people are riding a high, and I'm just like, these things didn't happen, whatever. But I look at your art, and I'm just like transfixed. It got me out of, that's your art alone. And then I got to meet and chop it up with you, and I was just like, yo, and it took a little bit of time, mostly because of me, to kind of circle our wagons, but here we are. But I want to ask you, like, how did you start drawing? How did you start creating? Because, like, the YouTube thumbnail, that's you. I didn't have to ask the photographer for
yeah,
credit. That's all you.
yeah. Well, I mean, I've always been, I've always had one foot in art, one way or another, since I was a kid. Whether it was something I was allowed to do, or if I was being rebellious, because I mean, I've gone through different mediums as I matured as a kid. Um, but I never really considered it as something, because it was never spoken about in such ambition. You know what I mean? So it was like, I didn't know that I was going to be an artist. I'm just the cousin that knew how to draw very well,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm just the cousin that's like, he's a shoe in to be a tattooist and make money by being a tattooist. So you just go that route, because I mean, of us, I mean, being a first generation immigrant, I mean first generation American, my parents weren't looking for, this um, type of freelance, free spirited lifestyle, where he's like, they were like, no, go, you need structure, you need to clock in for the man, and then get your check. That's how you feed. That's how I feed you guys. So that's how you should feed your kids. So in the future, so it was never really cradled, um, and so I never took it seriously, and I never would consider it that much. And then then the internet came around, and I'm over here just drawing on Microsoft Paint while everybody's on Photoshop, and I'm like doing all my first art on that, and then doing my kind of hodgepodge photo edits, and then people started I started to get some traction. From there, I bumped into to shout out to Uso Kishi Rikishi. Bumped into him through another wrestler, one of his top students, Sefa Parisi. And so then he kind of linked us up at our Long Beach Comic Con as I walked the grounds with my kids. I was excited being at my first Comic Con in my hometown of all places, and just be free and kind of see what the culture was like. And I never considered being on the other side of the table, but Junior Kishi was like, "You got to do this," and so he would tag me along to conventions and kind of show me the ropes on how like just how the goings on are in convention settings and in show settings. And then from there I branched out from this and that convention to a different convention, a different type of convention, and then hopping on board with wrestling indie shows, and then being a featured artist in these different promotions. And it just kind of just kept on climbing gradually, as much as I could handle. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I'm trying to kayfabe my way all the way up there, but I was because like, yo, it's a bit much. I can't do this, but let me learn. Let me try it out. So that's kind of how I got started doing this whole public announcement of, hey, I am an artist, and I'm more accepting definition now than how I was before. But my wife was a big supporter in me finding something for myself, finding something for me, instead of just clocking in and clocking out, fulfilling my destiny as a workerman's son, and remembering who I am to myself and having that peace and that meditation. So now I share it with all these people online who have been very, very kind and shown me love, and I'm able to support all my other Usos who are in the wrestling industry themselves and trying to help them, and just strengthen the mold of who their characters are. And I'm just happy and blessed to be a part of their journey, because I like seeing them win. I like seeing them trying. I mean, it's everybody loves the spectacle of life struggle, and I see we're all in it in our different contexts.
Yeah.
But I like to see that people are finding upper hands here and there, and that I can help just my little speck of help that I can. And so that's kind of how this all came to be, where Skufius, the little schoolboy, the ditcher, the boy who's over here kicking out, being trying to like I don't know,
Find your
fill in the
iron.
roster. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm over here being Mr. Yard Boy when I should be in Algebra 1-2 at this time of day. So like here I am. I don't know. I just kind of carried on this whole uplift everyone, because I know how it is to be lost and like walking the streets and doing the street stuff and not having really good support or an anchor of what you can try to do in life. I didn't have that as a kid until all these rosters was like, no, you can do this type of music, you can do these type of things, but you gotta do it the right way. And so here I am. Forgive me if I was jumping all over the place. I tend to do that.
Please, that's what we do here. That's what we do.
My bad. It was my wife told me, like, you kind of blabber sometimes. Like you kind of just jump all over the place and you don't get to the question. And I'm like, forgive me. And I kind of get that. I have the effect, and people get like strange impressions of me. But I'm kind of out there. But just to go back, the art was always there, but it was never seen by myself. I never acknowledged it for what this is now. And it's still hard. I'm just having fun drawing things that people like. Basically, I'm just an ooze. I'm just an ooze that likes to draw.
Bro, that's it. I'm a freaking half poly that likes to talk, and I didn't figure it out. I didn't really figure it out until like after both my parents had passed away, and wild stuff, right? Where, my grandfather in Fiji was the first broadcaster in our country, right? Wame Wanga
Wow.
Nisanini Senior, right? And when my mom came over here, my mom was so close to my dad. I only realized now that the things that she was teaching me, right? She was raising me in the molds of her dad. you know.
Huh.
Like, I mean, and my dad was great with it because, like, you know, as a poor kid from Indiana, you know, like he's marrying a person from an island he, like, most people never
Never heard
heard
of.
of, right? And then
Yeah,
they're
the
all
water
black
water
people.
bottle island.
Yeah. Oh man, that wasn't even it. Like, my dad grew up, you know, he was born 48, so like he grew up during Jim Crow, right? Like, uh,
Huh.
yeah, like my, you know, the strongholds, right, of the KKK, right? Most people, yes, it did have a big thing in the South, right? But also Notre Dame University, right? That was a KKK stronghold, if not one of the like major hubs, right? So like my dad grew up
Wow.
in that, right? And then even like, you know, my grandmother on my dad's side, you know, she came up from as a half Cherokee, half Irish. My grandfather was like full on Irish, had red hair, downtown Dublin accent, like the whole thing, right? And then she migrates up to Indiana, you know, and then has like a bunch of kids, right? Like these are our stories, right? Like I have both immigrant and like slavery stories, right? Like Irish weren't looked great upon when they came to the States, right? Natives were, you know, you look at the, you know, what is it, the houses that, you know, they basically stripped away all their culture and what
Oh, the
have you, right? So,
reservations.
yeah, absolutely. So like um all of that, and then my mom being from Fiji, right? And like, you know, we when we left the Bay, we didn't do so well. We were pretty much like nomads. We went from Indiana, well, the Bay, Fiji, back to the Bay in San Rafael, Marin County, Indiana, Las Vegas, New Mexico, Georgia, Inglewood, and none of them are like, you can't relate any of the things. You can't use Indiana stuff in Fiji or Vegas stuff in Georgia. Like it was all over the place. But the thing that kind of kept me through is wrestling, right? And I knew at Saturday morning, right? You know, I can catch either Wrestling Challenge or WWF Superstars. I knew at either 6:05 or 3:05, depending on what side of the country we were on, was going to be WCW Saturday night, right? Like,
Ooh.
and I could sometimes we'd leave friends, we'd leave family, all that jazz, right? But I knew I could go back on Saturday mornings or rent a cassette tape, and the same characters that I knew from the Bay growing up were going to be on my TV today when I didn't know where sometimes my meal was going to come from, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. And we're using all of that pain, right? All of that discovery through our art, right? And it's good that it's amazing. Like you had a legend. He's a living legend in Rikushi, right? I mean, and look at like we're talking about like all the maturations that we went through, right, to get us here, and we can see it in our art, right? But look at him. He started out like as a like head shrinker, right? And then, wait, I mean, if you want to really go back, he's a part of the Samoan SWAT team, right?
Yeah. There you go.
W, right? And then he comes up, and then they like you take the hood away from him, and I don't know if you notice it, but like, you know, some of us polys, man, we especially the males, we go one of two ways. We either go
Yeah.
fresh off the hood or hood.
Yeah.
The intersection where we're at, we just kind of like we're the crazy ones. We just go off our own thing, right?
You just keep giving them food. They'll be all
Yeah,
right.
right. We gotta feed him somehow. Like you let him exist, right? So like, but all of that, right? And then he, you know, he goes from head shrinker, he goes make a difference too, which I was when I heard build from San Francisco, California as a kid, that I know where the Cow Palace is. I know, like, yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, he looked like my cousins. He looked like my cousins. Like him, for me, like representation, right, in terms of like my Polynesian side, was Make a Difference Fatu and the Jets. Make it real.
Man.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Jets, bro. Ah, snap.
People like, oh, you don't know nothing about R&B. What do you know about the culture? I was like,
The Jets.
I'll put them on the Jets. And
here you go. You got it all.
Yes. Fine.
Oh,
bro.
Man.
So that's what I'm saying, right? But it's like all of, and then, you know, he becomes the Sultan, right? Like managed by
I love
Bob
that gimmick.
Backlund. Right. it was like he got Gimmick Aramid, right? And then of all things, it's like after Yokozuna, the great, and you talk about Harbor City. I got a Yokozuna story for you. Have you met him?
Yeah. I met Rod. Yeah, I met Rod. I met him a couple times. And the first time. Okay, so there's a bakery there was a bakery, I'm not sure if it's still there in Carson, off of Carson Street, across the street from Malachi's church. Well, that's what I know. It's off of Wilmington and Carson. Well, there was a bakery there, and we went there after church. My church was in Wilmington.
Okay.
Yoko graduated high school from Wilmington. Well, he attended high school in Wilmington. And so I remember after church, we went over there, and then Yoko went and bought out, like, paid for everybody's bread. And then we walked in, and then the family was like, here, Yokozuna came in, and they put his picture on top of the door. It was autographed, and he was leaving in his SUV, and I was looking at him. He was like, what's up, little bro? Hey, brother. And I was like, oh, snap. And then they came out, and it was really, really cool, because then, I mean, so Rodney, and then they had a house. Well, he's from Carson, but anyway, I met him a couple of times, and he is what they say he is. Like he has such a love for our people, and he looked out for a lot of people. Like shout out to Damu on what I told Damu a couple of stories of these stories, and he was like, bro, thanks for telling me these stories, bro, because I mean, it's good to hear it. Like you hear wrestling stories, but you don't hear Rodney stories too much from outside. You know what I mean? So it's like it's cool, and I'm proud of Damu. So if you guys are if you guys are tired of the bloodline growing, forgive us. It's going forever. Like there's not going to be a generation that passes that there ain't nobody out here repping in between them ropes, because you still have Tomiko Fatu, you still have Damu on the one, you have. Just it's not stopping.
Zilla just debuted on NXT,
bro. Wow. I got chills when it happened. I was like, bro, I'm so.
Oh, to see his mom's reaction on Twitch though.
That
was the one.
Yeah,
I was just like cool, that like we won that day. Like that was amazing. And I mean, we're gonna get to next. You know, they just debuted. You know, Mike Santana. Like we've had some big debuts, but like this one is different. You know, which I mean, like so it's wild. So my mom and I would have arguments straight out. Like my mom's arguing with me. I'm on like, he's Japanese. He's got Mr. Fuji. She's like, he's Samoan. I was like, no, he isn't. It's like
he's
like
Samoan and he's Hawaiian.
Yeah. I was like, he looks like your cousin. It's like, no, man, I don't believe kayfabe. Man, I would run into the bathroom every time I hear a gong hit, and then because nah, man, 7 foot zombie dude putting people in body bags. I'm gonna go over here until that segment is over. He scared the shit out of me. I mean, as a 41-year-old man, right? I'm not at all convinced if you turn off the lights, like I'm not gonna hear a gong and fucking yeah, man.
It's funny that you say that, because that day that we seen him at the bakery, at the Samoan bakery over there in Carson, we went home and In Your House was on. And he was on and so he was on TV, and I'm like, wait, that's not him. It wasn't him. Because we're looking at him right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was a kid. I didn't know about pre-taping or whatever. But yeah, like he's over here right now, and that's Jim Cornette over there.
Right.
And then I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, that's not him. Like that. Who was that guy? And then they're like, oh, that's him. And so when I was a kid, I didn't believe it. I just thought that it was just lying to me. I don't know, just to mess with me. So I was like, yeah, that's not Rodney, because he's right here. So I told you that this guy is Japanese. He's on TV right now. That's the Japanese guy, and that guy Rodney just looks like him. And they're like, that's Yokozuna. That's Yokozuna. I was not like, so it was a good memory in retrospect, but like in the moment, I was like,
yeah, right.
Okay, you lying. You guys are lying to me.
So you're gonna love mine because it takes place right there. Like, so the Polynesian Festival, first week of May. That's usually my birthday. My birthday's May 7th, right?
Oh snap! What's up, Taurus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So they have the Polynesian Festival there. Bunch of my cousin would be doing the Meki and whatever, and girls throwing money at them and all that jazz. And it's so wild, right? Because like, if you're grown up in American culture, it's like, oh, that's the strippers, whatever. But us, that's a term of endearment. We're doing it right. Like all the steps stepped and all the slap. We're honoring our ancestors, right? So, so my mom, right? She, she takes it around, and I was just like, I wanted to be American. She taught me to be American, right? So like, I wanted to be American. Or I probably had a Game Boy or some stuff, whatever. And she's like, AJ, I've got a surprise for you. I'm like, what? I want some Palasami on the salon booth. Go. Okay, Mom. Bro, it's Yokozuna sitting there. Huh? And he had a stack of 8x10s. What? And I'm like, wrestlers are larger than life, right?
Yeah.
So first off, I'm going like, wait, was my mom right? Is he someone? He's an islander. He ain't Japanese. So I was kind of like, damn, she was right. I'm gonna have to eat this one.
Yeah.
But then he was just like, hey, like, and he like embraced me. And then I told my sister, and it was a whole, like, for a while we had Autograph Yokozuna, and I would just like idolize it. Like, this is I'm wearing an Owen Hart shirt, like, because we share the same birthday. Like, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, that was my ish, right? You're talking to a guy that like is a central part of Bret's arc, right? My favorite Mania is Mania 10. Who does Bret beat? Big Rod, right? Yeah. So, like, that dude, former WWF champion, and to me, I didn't know about indies. I didn't know that he was out, whatever. That's Yokozuna. And I'm just like, and he was displayed. And I was like, you're going to be here all day? Like, we're going to play kickball or something, like, whatever. And he's like, yeah. And then he ended up leaving. But, yeah, dude, like, that was the wildest thing. And it was right there in Harbor City.
Do you remember what year?
That had to be, because we came, so he passes in what, like 98, 99. So, like, right before, I think I'm middle school age.
Because I remember going to it, and I think I seen him there because he passed in 2000.
Oh, 2000, right. So it had to be because
like 99.
Yeah, so we come to LA August of, I feel like 95. Yeah, because I'm turning 10. Yeah, so August of 95. So it had to be 97, 98 because I'm in middle school then.
Bro, I think I was there. He was like sitting over. I kind of remember where he was sitting. In the white
tent with, and I think he had a cast on.
Bro, bro, I was there, bro. Yeah, because he was right there, and they're facing south. Yeah,
right, and then the stage was on the opposite.
The stage was on. Yeah, I was there, bro.
Look at this.
That's crazy, dog. I'm listening. I'm like, wait, why does this sound familiar, bro? Over at the Ula Ula over there in Harbor City, right there, like right down the street from the hospital. Yeah, right next to the place where they had the lake with the crocodile on the side of it. Yeah. Ooh, so I was right there, bro. I'm tripping. I was there. My family was there. We even bought a bumper sticker, a Hawaiian bumper sticker for our van, bro. I was there. That's crazy.
My cousins did the Meki in the Fijian portion of it, and my uncle was the narrator.
They're like the only Fijian group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, bro. I was there. They were the only Fijian group, bro. They're doing the Meki, and like, bro. And I was sitting there, I was like, bro, oh man, this is crazy, dog. I was right there. Because we were sitting not too far from Rodney, because then that's another time I seen him. I met him, he was just chilling. And then I think the kids are just running about, and they're just we're going to there's a booth where they have the toys and the little
Yeah,
you buy little bubble
bubbles.
things, and then and water guns. Bro, I was there, bro. That's crazy, dog.
That's wild. Oh man.
Yeah.
See, and all it took was like what 20 years for us to connect again.
I think I saw you over there bugging him, bro. I was joking. No. You're bothering him. I remember.
No wonder he shook the spot, broken leg and all. He was like,
"Oh man, that's crazy." Oops, I was there,
man. So I gotta like, I guess what inspires you today, right? To pick up the pen, right? We were talking about, and anybody that saw your stories, you know how much Christopher Cross and sailing means to you, right? And the days where you're tired, you got to provide for your family, but like you just are not okay. Maybe your energy tank is a little low, right? But like you got to create, right? There's something there. Like what motivates you to continue on your path?
all the time that I spent doubting myself and wasting time not doing things that I could have been doing. All the time that I spent kind of envying everybody because I've grown a lot. I mean, forgive me. Like I was like, you get those moments like, man, I could have done that. I could do that. Maybe I could do that. I've done that for far too long, and I find that common in a lot of our people is that I don't mean to judge you or anything, but I'll judge myself instead. But I was kind of a crab in a bucket in a way in my adolescence, and as I mature and find my true focus and peace is being a dad and a husband and doing my very, very best at being so. But as an artist, what keeps me going is to show my kids that like you cannot envy people. You can only envy what you didn't want to do. Like you can only that's only yourself. I just finished a podcast of Jacob on Tell Your Story with Stephanie McMahon. Shout out to Uso Jacob, man, love you, brother. But
yeah, man,
he had the same. He said this that you can only mess it up for yourself, and in that same regard, you can only start it by yourself. So start finding these things that you like to do, and apparently people might find some a liking to it. I just like creating these. I just like sketching and drawing and creating different things because people appreciate it, and that I can appreciate that I'm doing these things. I pass a cemetery every single day, every day. We pass by a cemetery and I look, and it's that cliche statement like, look at all these dreams that didn't come true. Look at all these goals that were never met, and they're all 6 feet under. They could have done it, but they spent their whole life not. You know what I mean? They spent their whole life preparing for death and forgot to live in between. So here I am urging people to seize the moment. Don't waste your day. Be kind to yourself. Don't be so tough and hard on yourself, because I've done that very, very vigorously. And I believed the hype. I believed my doubts. Yeah, and that was like the only thing that made things real was, it's just a dream. And one day you wake up and realize that you don't even have any more opportunity to even consider dreaming anymore. So just to have a wonder, just to be able to wonder if I'm okay is already a blessing, just to wonder instead of knowing that you're not okay. You know what I mean? So doing this art has been a great journey to discover who I am and who I want to be and who I want to portray to my children. Something that they could just turn the page to said bookmarks and learn that lesson through me. And I've learned through the faults of my elders and seen what they kind of did wrong, and I go back to my book and see how I did the same thing wrong in life. Forgive me if I'm going a bit too deep of just drawing pictures and anything, but like drawing pictures is quite the metaphor in what I'm doing. I'm not trying to make it so deep. I'm just like,
no, it is.
I've
it's still real to me, damn it. That the whole way. Sometimes it's that, right? Like, and then you can I don't know if it happens to you, right? Like, and this is happening in real time, right? So my art is, I don't have a paintbrush or anything like that. Like my art is this, right? But
Mm.
I see myself changing, right? I see myself evolving. And even like the time, like I was super bloody nervous, to like, this has been my first one. And I mean, during pandemic times, like I did 550, like in 16 months, right? Like,
That's a
it was,
lot.
and then I ended up on Bischoff's podcast and like wild, right? And then I really haven't done them since, right? So life be lifing, right? Living the life in the life, right? But the thing about it is like you kind of see yourself evolve from it, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not that deep, then everything that you've ever painted and drew is surface level. I don't think so. I'm going to
Yeah.
respectfully disagree, Sue.
I,
You ain't no surface
I
level.
suppose.
You are not surface level, bro. You in the, and I feel blessed to like kind of be around people like this, or like it's the Don Henley thing. It's getting down to the heart of the matter, and that every time you see like any one of your drawings, it's your interpretation of it, right? It's not
Mm.
what is, it's your interpretation of what is. It's your vision. So each print, each painting, each t-shirt, each design is a little bit of you, is a living legacy that people can put on their walls, wear on a shirt, like all of it. It is you. It is that little kid that was hanging out, getting called Screwface with all these Rastas, right? It is you thinking that, you know, uh, Yokozuna ain't here, Rodney's here.
Mm.
That's you, right?
Mm.
Rikishi taking you through, right? Again, what better mentor could you have had than that? The day you and your wife connect, right? And shout out to the wife. You've mentioned her. I thank your wife for letting you be you, because you're an amazing human being. Like I can just feel the warmth here, right? So like all of it, it's on everything, and it's a written legacy, right? It's not beginning end, right? Because if you believe, right, at the very least, right, if people come to your funeral or are affected by your death, if it gets announced on social media or what have you, right, that somebody thinks to do an obituary, whatever the case may be, right, and they miss you because you played an impact, no matter how big or how small, they want to put you in writing, right? They want to speak of that, just like we're doing Big Rod, you and me. He's been gone for 20, almost 30 years, right? You think his kids, right, might stumble upon this thing and hearing two guys that didn't really, really know him be affected by him. His legacy lives on, you know?
Mm.
You and I's legacy are living on through our art. That's the one thing that I can rest assured. I kind of don't care about the views, right? I care about the people being affected by this positively. If you think like, huh, man, Woods, really? You podcasting? I can do that. Please do. You want to pick up some paint and pens and canvas? Like my man here? Do that.
Mm.
Please. Do what makes your heart and your soul happy. I am living proof at what, 9 years shy of 50, right? Um, I'm making my 7-year-old me proud. That's all I'm doing, man. Like, there's two things, right? Like, not a huge movie buff, but like, there's two parts of movies that stick with me. It's the what is it, Mr. Deeds, right? They're trying to kick Adam Sandler's character out and whatever, and they're like, hey, he's on the panel. It's like, hey, what did you want to be when you were little? It's like, I want
Mm.
to be a veterinarian. It's like, what are you now? It's like, I own the largest slaughterhouses in the
Slaughterhouse.
right. And everybody's like, oh, whatever, room full of people, whatever. Like the 7-year-old you would kick your ass, right? So that,
Mm.
right? And then Johnny Cash walked the line, whether it actually happens or not, right? He's a traveling salesman. He's got a band. He might have his first kid already, and the pressure's on, right? And Sam Phillips, on the other end, has already had 3/4 of what would be the $1 Million Quartet in Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chet Perkins, right?
Mhm.
And Johnny was going to be the fourth, right? And they
Gutter
auditioned,
scene.
right? And they audition, right, for Sam Phillips, right? And they do this
Mhm.
hymnal or whatever, and he cuts them. Imagine if you walked out this damn door, right, and got hit by a car, and you're lying dead in the gutter. Are you going to
I
sing
love
that
that
same
scene.
hymnal that everybody has sing since the beginning of time, or are you going to sing something different? And supposedly, in that universe, right, that is the
Yeah.
birth of the Man in Black, the Johnny Cash that we all know and love, right? That he's transcended. He's not just a country act. Everybody's listening to Johnny Cash, right? Rick Rubin, who produced those Americana records, again, Run DMC, Red Hot Chili Peppers, like System of a Down, all of them, right? And also Johnny Cash, and all of them being influenced by him. I mean, when he covers Neil Young's Heart of Gold, right? It's everybody but Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers backing him up. It's Flea, it's John Frusciante, it's Chad Smith, right? When he covers Nine Inch Nails' Hurt, Trent Reznor's like, it ain't my song anymore. That's Johnny's. That's
Mm.
it, right? So those things, right? So we're talking about Johnny Cash. We're talking about Big Rod, right? And if we do this right, people will talk and remember us in the same context. And do we have to be household names or anything like that? No. It's the people that will open their heart to us that can be affected by us, not get caught up in, oh, well, he's this, I haven't known him that long, all that, whatever, the trappings of the world, right? And let themselves be affected by us, good, bad, or indifferent, right? Those people are going to be the ones who tell our stories long after we're gone. So every print you're doing, every print that you send off, again, that's your legacy in that envelope. That's your legacy on your shirt. And again, amazing, right? My kid, like, there was a time where he got to see my logo on a vinyl like deal. We had a watch party or weigh-in party for one of my fighter friends, and he stood by it. And like, I'm Woods because that's my family name. I'm Adam Woods, right? So he's standing next to me. It's my legacy, literally standing next to my legacy, and that's it. So every time your kids walk into your office, seeing you create, beyond the hugs, beyond the love, beyond everything that you're showing them, you're showing a better way than what you had.
All right, well, just kick me in the gut then, News.
Yeah, I will. Like Warren Zevon said, I'll keep you in my heart for a while.
No,
How
man.
about that?
I
Right. So
appreciate that, bro. That's real.
yeah, I appreciate you. So I mean, before we get out of here, obviously there have been so many amazing people in your life that have created the amazing and wonderful person that is, the enigma that is. So take as long as you like. Let's get some shout outs out of the way.
Dang, bro. I don't even know if we have a whole day to
872
leave out
minutes.
from.
Let's go.
Man, I gotta thank everybody, dog. I mean, everybody has like, I've learned so many lessons and lost so many battles that I keep to me. Like I keep every single day, and I move. I move different now because of these lessons. But I'm always forget. I'm always gonna shout out my wife. My wife has always been like my backbone. She kind of helped me break out of my own mold of shyness and doubt and self-consciousness. She's literally the person that sees the beauty in me, and that's her job. And my job is to find the same thing in her, and we strengthen each other. It's always going to be team us against the world. So, without her support, I wouldn't. I can honestly say I wouldn't be so confident to do any of these things, or allow myself to be a kid again, or allow myself to be just me. You know what I mean? I mean, society has a great demand on what a man or a person or should be, and she allows me to be myself and love me for that. And that's kind of been the biggest source of ability for me. And then I shout out my kids because they are the reason why I do these things. My three Meni monsters are always going to chase all these doubts because they can't see me anything lower than dad, which is a very, very powerful role that I will never, ever, ever take for granted, because there's been plenty of times I sought my dad out in places I couldn't find him. You know what I mean? So being a great dad and being allowed to the opportunity of being their dad is just the greatest thing. Forgive me. But yeah, I mean, and shout out to my family and all my friends and all y'all who are watching and everybody who have been supporting me over the years. You guys kind of like, you honestly kind of give me the direction. Like I feel that like, okay, well they're vibing with me. They like what I'm doing. That means that, I mean, obviously it's a measure of work that can be appreciated. And I appreciate you, AJ, for being in all the places that I was at since we were kids, bro. And like, and
universe.
Well, I was like, bro, you wait. What year was this, dog? Anyway, forgive me if I'm making it all fun right now. But for real, I appreciate people like you who encourage me to be people, something similar, to encourage to give people a platform and tell their story and talk their talk. Whether it's useful to one person, maybe it's more useful to another person. I mean, I'm just very grateful for everything, dog. I'm Uso. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Yeah, for taking the time, bro. Like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Like, again, like, who'd have thought? Like, we would have just, and it's funny because, like, let's not like downplay where we met. You're in the same space as like Mick Foley is in the corner, and like, like you're in the same.
It's crazy.
Space. You got crazy. Some Meni first. Come on, like we got it,
bro. Bro, I'm a fan. I'm always gonna be a mark, and I'm a mark for all my friends. And they may find that something silly. It sounds funny, but no, I love when I see people that I know doing well and like fighting the fight and showing up when it's the hardest. And like but I'm sitting there and literally, bro, when I met you, that was my first WrestleCon, and I'm sitting here and now I'm like kicking it with Uncle Devon and Uncle Boogeyman. Shout out Uncle Boogie, love you. Mick Foley across, Kevin Nash, Sean Waltman telling me that he threw up all over Yoko's car. Like, hey man, sorry, I got drunk and I threw up all over the back of the car. Oh, I'm pretty sure you heard a lot about it. I was like, nah, dog. I didn't hear nothing about it. But and then like just hearing all the stories from the legends and speaking to them and being on this side of the table, which is it's baffling to me still, because I still sit here and then like whenever I see these wrestling legends who I share the same relationship to wrestling as you, because when I watch wrestling, I'm a kid again and my dad's alive and we're all just eating around the table. I mean, around the TV, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting here just like chopping it up with these people that like they're average Joes, and it's completely strange to me. But then like I forget that they are them, and then when I'm driving, that was literally Lita. That was Lita. That was my Lita. I'm sorry. But anyway, but yeah, I'm a big fan, and yeah. So when you see me there and I'm over here just trying to be chill, I'm a break kayfabe. I'm tripping out, like, bro. I just wooed with the best of them. We wooed together. That's the Nature Boy, bro. Yeah, I'm trying not to be a marker. Like asking for a photo. Hey, can I get a photo with you? Yeah, sure, nephew. I'm like, oh
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean like it?
yeah.
Bro,
I'm over here. I'm over here being Skufius. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
like, oh yeah, man. hmm And then when they leave, I'm Skufius.
yeah,
I'm just joking.
bro. Like, well, that's where both your names kind of come into play, right? You can
Bro,
be both.
it's true. Like, how you doing, sir? But like inside, I'm like, hi. I remember when you fell off of the ladder, and I was eating cereal that morning. I'm just joking. I was just like, I'm that fan,
Yeah,
and it's funny because that's a common story. Like all the fans come over and they tell their whole story, and I'm like, all right, oh, there's a line behind you, sir. There's
yeah.
a and so I'm one of them, but I'm keeping it cool because there's rules behind the table. Hey man, don't be a Marcos. Don't be a Marcos. This is Rikishi. Hey, don't mark out. Don't be a mark. I'm like,
Right.
but I am a mark, man. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
bro,
I've never taken
that's
a bump. Come on.
yo, come on, man.
Right?
Like, let me take a picture. Leave him alone. I'm like, all right, cool.
Cool.
Leave him alone. I was trying
Mm,
not to. I'm trying not to stare at them and make eye contact with them, and then when they look, I'm like,
yeah.
bro, I'm a fan. I'm a mark, and forgive me. I'm a big fan, and I'm like,
Well,
and I'm always gonna be tripping. I'm always gonna be tripping.
and again, this is what has gotten you here, right? Like all of the evolutions of you have gotten you here where you are able to not only um you yourself, right? Like if we're taking it in a selfish context, you get into the draw. That's it. Like
Yeah,
you peel everything back, you just get into the draw.
yeah,
Now I don't have to mark on desks. Now I'm not, like my dad's not, pissed off that I wasted a whole school notebook,
yeah,
on some just drawings that he thought was just frivolous, right? Right?
yeah.
Right? And then you're getting inspired, right? And people are like, "Oh, damn!" And you get to see again your impact in real life, right? And imagine, right? And this is probably literally happened to you, where you're giving that person your muse, your art in that print. Hey,
Mm.
hey, Unc, thank you for this, and this is the way I see you. And in their office, much like yours, they got your work, so you affected them.
Hey, bro. I yeah. I mean,
Work so
it's
hard.
cool. Yeah,
Work,
I see my stuff in the background all the time, like Uncle Booker. I see
yeah,
if you look at Booker T's podcast, I have like, hey, I know that piece, that's me. Or Devon, shout out to Devon, shout out to
yeah.
D-Lo. Bro, it's been a blessing. It's been a fun ride. Um, I'm trying my best to start just to shut up. Hey, smarten up. This is Rikishi. Hey, smarten up. Don't be a
Yeah.
mark. But
You're plenty
I'm
smart, first off. But second off, you've affected them in a real positive way. In a real
yeah,
positive way. And they feel proud that hey, you made it. You're not on the cutting room floor. You're in the background of their podcast as they're expanding their arts, right?
mm,
They ain't taking bumps no more, right? Uncle Book,
mm,
Uncle Devon, ain't Uncle D'Lo, right?
yeah,
They doing something else, right? So they're taking their love and passion and putting it in a different context, right? Just like you and me. We've never taken a bump. I've done a little
no,
jujitsu, right? But we've never taken a bump, and we're in the same circles as that, Like, man, like talking with Josh Barnett and Danzig about like 1970s, Bruno Sammartino, and then Danzig goes, "Hey Woods, come here."
yeah.
The fuck? What?
That's crazy,
Mother,
bro.
what? Like, but like
Yeah,
we have these stories, and we're in these circles because maybe, just maybe, we can quill a little bit of that imposter syndrome that anybody that can draw or anybody that can talk can be in the spaces we are. Maybe you
that's a
can.
trip.
Please, please, if you can do it. And that's not facetious. If you have it in you to do what either of us are doing, please do it. Your soul will be happy. Your soul
Mm,
and your spirit will be happy, just like ours is. Fight for your soul. Fight for your soul. Fight for your happiness. Fight for your mental health. Watch all of the things get better when you get into whatever it is. Start a podcast. Do a little, what is it? It's not a little, but like start a, what is it? A online league or a community. Do whatever that weird thing is that makes you different. Be different. Let that freak flag fly. Please bring to the table. Come correct, but bring it to the table because I guarantee you got something to offer. I will bank everything on it. You've got something to offer. And if you don't believe me, look at us too. That's it. So, Skufius, where can people find you on the socials?
Hit me up on Instagram at Skufius, Skufius. I'm barely on TikTok. I'm barely on X, but you can find me there too. My name is Christian Meni. You can find me on Facebook. And then you can also tap into my website, www.skufius.art.
Which I've linked right here below in this podcast. So, Woods has helped you. There you go. Go get you some merch. He's got some dope ass designs, dope ass prints. And again, thank you, Christian, for being a blessing to not only your family, but your extended family, myself included, because again, your art, your everything that you are doing and continue to do is inspiring a whole legion of others. So thank you for doing that.
Man, much love for us, man. We've got love us for the time. And thank you all for watching.
Yeah, more than one there. And again, if you want to be a bit like Skufius or me, right, go ahead and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast because Skufius, you're subscribed, aren't you?
I am. I'm pressing it as soon as we finish. Yeah, I am subscribed, bro.
Yeah, damn right. And Esteban is like, yep, heck yeah. Shout out to you, Esteban. But yeah, go ahead. And I have obviously subscribed to my podcast, right? Because wanting yourself to do well is not a douchebag move, right? It's a good self-healing type deal. So I'm subscribed to my podcast. Christian subscribed to my podcast. Why shouldn't you? But if you don't believe me, you don't believe Skufius, hey, here's Zeta Zhang to help convince you.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods YouTube.